going there and he's very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't there that night. Lamont wasn't having it.
I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12-round span. Like, you could tell every time he fight, it's always like a gas tank problem or...
Anybody. But, you know, Tank is a different animal, too. So, it's a great fight. That's why everybody want to see it. We can't just look at it and say, oh, he going to win, oh, he going to win. No.
Shakur Stevenson warns Lamont Roach to stay away from a rematch with Gervonta Davis. He calls Davis the greatest, with power nobody can match. Shakur says Tank is breaking fighters and won't give Roach another lucky shot. With Davis looking more ripped than ever, Shakur tells Roach to think twice or face serious trouble.
I think it'll be a chess match. I think it'll be a boxing match. People talk about his power. His power is great. You can clearly tell that he's cracking.
Shakur Stevenson admits that fighting Gervonta Davis would be his toughest test. He respects Davis's power, skills, and unpredictability, calling him a serious threat. Shakur knows it won't be easy and sees Davis as a dangerous opponent who could really push him to his limits.
What would be your hardest matchup? Devin Haney, Tank, or would it be Ryan Garcia?
Nah, Ryan, just X him out. He's trash. It's gonna be Tank. I ain't say it before, but I'm gonna say it like me and him the big fight.
Gervonta Davis looks stronger and more ripped than ever in his new training videos. His intense focus and physical transformation are clear. His tweet, "Somebody is in trouble," adds to the excitement, showing he's locked in and ready to dominate. Fans are fired up to see what's next. Kenny Ellis, part of Davis's team, spoke on Roach's intense training clips. He respects Roach's hard work, but says gym work and real fights are different. Ellis says Davis's fights are about more than conditioning. It's about taking punches, handling pressure, and having the will to win. Heart matters more than practice.
You see a different Lamont Roach coming into this fight?
No, I don't. I tell people all the time, no offense, no, this is not a Lamont Roach, but a fighter can do everything in the gym, man. They can do their push-ups, their pull-ups, they can run 10 miles a day, they can eat their diet, they can change their diet, they can do everything right, but it have to be in your DNA to take pain. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Are you willing and able to take the pain that come with this shit? That's for any fight, you know?
Right.
And that's the difference in a lot of the fights. You gotta be willing to take the pain that come with it.
Now,
in the actual fight, not the training, in the actual fight.
In the actual fight, what's the difference between, you know, the pain inside the gym gearing up to the fight versus the lights and you know, being on Showtime?
No, the workout pain, muscle sore, fatigue, that's different, but
it prepares you for those lights.
That pain in the actual fight, man, when shit get rattled, your eggs get scrambled, your eyes get blurry, fucking mouth and nose get fucked up. You know, a little bit of everything, body shots. You just gotta be willing to take the pain and come with it. You know, getting your equilibrium every other round.
Former champ Mikey Garcia gave his take. He says Davis usually learns from mistakes and expects him better prepared. Garcia praised Davis's ring smarts, but warned none of that matters if his head isn't right. Mental mistakes could ruin everything. Garcia even said if Davis isn't fully focused, he shouldn't fight at all.
Then hopefully, you know, I'd like to see it.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and then he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows? Maybe
it turns the market back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know. So, hey, things happen for a reason, and I think he did really well in his first one. Hopefully he puts on a great fight, even if he were to lose, but in a great fight. shit, he'll get a third fight.
Right.
No,
Mikey, what do you make of him saying he wants to go to therapy to fix his like mental health, but not yet because he doesn't want to get fixed yet because he needs that edge?
I'm not a psychiatrist, bro. I don't know. Everybody's a little different. What I got to say is, like, if you're dealing with any mental health, it seems to be a very common thing. And if you don't feel that you're 100% dedicated or 100% capable of blocking out, you know, personal life issues or whatever to get in the ring, then don't get in the ring. Don't get in the ring. Now, if you're...
It seems like a lot of fighters going through stuff and they get in the ring.
If you're going through stuff and you feel like maybe it's helping, like he says, maybe it's helping him do it, let him do it. I don't know.
Since the first fight's controversial ending, fans have argued nonstop over who won. Some say Roach did enough. Others say Davis had the edge. Now, this rematch will settle it. Both fighters have something to prove. Fans want answers, no more debates, just one clear winner.
I just want to know, when is the rematch going to happen at this point? Because I'm not going to lie, for it to be a whole month later and y'all still arguing over who actually won, it's just really like, okay, yeah, run it back, because we got to go ahead and settle this, squabble this up. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say neither fighter in here is shitty, okay? Because after the fight I seen on March 1st, yeah, they both was tagging shit. Both getting up with each other, okay? I feel like this is the perfect match. If anybody's going to do a rematch, you need to be down, period. And Gervonta was stinging him. I'm not going to lie. He was stinging him. Great fight for him. But I'm not gonna lie, he came out knowing what he was trying to do. Y'all have to give it to him. Like, y'all just be hating, okay? Y'all can't get in the ring and fucking fight. Y'all just be hating. At least I'm giving them no day props, okay? Because Gervonta had a great fight. Don't get me wrong. My money was on him. But I think what messed him up was the fact that when he came out, y'all know he usually be 2 steps ahead. He was 3 steps ahead. I feel like he already had Tank figured out. And he definitely was not expecting that. And him, on the other hand, I think he came in really having something to prove. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Like, it was a really good fight, and I feel like this is how I see it. In the beginning of the fight, he was stinking, back to back, you know what I'm saying? And then at the end of the fight, that's when he finally kicked it up. But I seen consistency through him through the whole fight. Not gonna lie, like, so I just feel like the rematch should happen, because never know. He might, now that he was 3 steps ahead, become 8 steps ahead, and he might really knock his butt down. But at the end of the day, it's like, we need this rematch, because I don't think this is ever gonna be a dispute that is settled and, you know, officially he won, he lost until they fight. Like, we gotta see it.
This time, the pressure is huge for Davis if he loses again, especially with no excuse. It could hurt his legacy. One bad night can be forgiven, but a second loss would raise serious questions. Fans may start to doubt if he belongs among boxing's best. With pride, reputation, and future on the line, Davis must deliver. This fight could define his career.
Is the rematch happening or what? Because I'm ready to see a motherfucker get knocked out again. I'm not here to debate, because y'all really go neck and neck for this for the rest of the tournament on who y'all think really won, who y'all think should have won, who y'all think didn't win. This is probably one of the biggest debates that will never be solved. Well, they put up a good fight, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, but damn near seemed like it was set up for them to have another match. Because exactly what Lamont did to Tank the whole first half, that's what Tank did to Lamont the whole second half, so what the fuck? It literally went neck for neck. I feel like it was a tie in my opinion. So hard to even say that though, because you just see so much demolishment from one, and then for it to flip to the other, and it just had your mind like, what? It's really how your mind blown. Like, what the fuck? I feel like when it came to the decision on the fight, a lot of people were real biased. A lot of people definitely went off of just a personal opinion of the person, a history of liking the person, not off of the fight itself. I will admit that really going into this fight, the first time, I thought Lamont was going to get his shit knocked off. I thought Tank was going to do him in. Now, although Tank did really show him something at the second half, I'm not going to lie, Lamont had him. He stuck with him the whole 12. You know anything about boxing, especially boxing a motherfucker like Tank, you know that it's a flex the last 12 rounds just as much as it is to beat a motherfucker. The fact that Lamont lasted 12 rounds with him was really getting up, I'm not gonna lie, stinging shit, all 12. It showed that this next match gonna really show who the fucking winner was. I do gotta say, Tank probably gonna come ready for him, but the fact that Lamont came ready for him, as ready for him as he did last match, I ain't gonna lie, I'm scared for both of them. This should be bigger than the Super Bowl, I'm not gonna lie. They say it's supposed to be happening in the summer, which would be a really good way to kick off the summer. And I know these two got a vengeance out for each other. Regardless of growing up together and fighting together, I'm not gonna lie, y'all. The way that fight went down, I'm not gonna lie, I really feel like this is gonna be history. Like, I can't wait to watch this shit again.
Roy Jones Jr. calls Gervonta Davis a different kind of beast in the ring. While he admits the fight is hard to predict, he believes Tank's raw power and skills will shine. Jones expects Davis to dominate and show why no one should ever count him out.
Saturday night, Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach. What are we expecting from this fight?
Well, we're expecting Gervonta just continue to show us his dominance and show us who he really is. It's really a coming out party for Roach because we've ever seen him a lot. So he get to show people what he has too. And usually when you get two guys who are boxers amateurs, it's going to equate to a good fight for the first few rounds. But when they're in the pro round takeover, we'll find out, has Roach adjusted to being a pro yet? Or is Tank too superior now as a pro? And that's where the difference will come in at.
Roach is coming up on weight. That, a lot of people keep on saying that's a very big disadvantage for Roach. His power might not transfer to, to this weight class. What do you got to say about that to the critics?
Well, I ain't really got nothing to say to the critics because most times they don't know the hell they talking about no weight, but I was able to carry my weight from 154 to heavyweight. You know how to do it right, when your weight, your punch will come with you. You don't know how to do it right, then yeah, you're going to lose your punch. So if he's a good, fundamentally sound fighter with a punch, he's going to have a punch at 130, then he's going to have a punch at 140. If he's not really fundamentally that sound, then he won't. That's why Tank is able to jump around. Tank fought between 130 and 140, whatever weight he wants to. Why? Because he's a great fundamental puncher. So his punch can be the same no matter what weight he got on. If you are fundamentally sound, that don't matter. But if you're not fundamentally sound, then yeah, when you move up the weight, you're going to lose your punch.
That's exactly what what I thought you would say, like, breaking that down and making understand that from 130, 135 to 140, I mean, you got to carry that power with you and how you're going to punch.
If you got fundamentals, you're going to carry it automatically. I took it all with a heavyweight, from a junior middleweight.
Gervonta Davis has teamed up with a new coach, showing a fresh mindset for the rematch. This change proves he's serious, shifting from his usual routine to more focused, smart training. His workouts now target his fundamentals and stamina. Observers say Davis looks more committed than ever, fully aware of what's at stake.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Kevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
Trainer Greg Hackett didn't hold back. He says this rematch is crucial for both fighters. No one has a clear edge. Both need to be at their best. Hackett warns that even one mistake could cost Davis the fight. He stresses that Davis must stay locked in and fully intense. No room for slacking this time.
It's rumors of what's going on in Tank's camp and, training with this person, training with that person.
Yeah.
Who has the edge heading into the rematch?
Neither one of them. Lamont, you know what? I'm lying. 55-45, Lamont.
Why?
Lamont got the edge because he already did the unexpected. He was supposed to get knocked out coming up from 130. And not only did he not get knocked out, he performed and possibly won the fight. That's what some people believe. I thought it was a very close fight. I think, but after you asked me that question, I'm thinking about it. Yeah, I think Lamont do have a slight edge just because he did what he wasn't supposed to do. So a lot of people go in there and they very obedient to Tank's power. And Lamont wasn't that night. Lamont wasn't having it. And he said he wasn't having it. He said it before. Y'all tripping. Y'all must be really like tripping. So I guess we was tripping.
Could we see the most focused Gervonta Davis after him getting so much backlash for the performance, for the taking the knee, etc.?
This would be the night we have to see the most focused because if he's not the most focused, then he gonna be in trouble. It's just that simple. This is the night you gotta be not on your A game, you gotta be on your everything game. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have everything with you that night. And you can't play about it. And you gotta mean it. Every step gotta be counted for. And he know that. So I'm looking for this just to be a great fight. Great fight.
Many believe Davis wasn't at his best in the first fight, whether from distractions or bad strategy. Fans and critics agree he underperformed, with his pride on the line. Davis seems ready to fix that. His latest moves show he wants to make a statement this time, not just win, but leave no doubts.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately, it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it to Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Experts and fans have noticed how quiet Davis has been lately. While Lamont Roach is talking in interviews and posting online, Davis has stayed silent. Analysts say that silence is on purpose. They believe Davis is locked in, working hard behind the scenes. Roach talks, but Davis's silence has everyone wondering if Tank is planning something big for the rematch.
Oh yeah, so we hearing that they got the fight set and scheduled, and it's going to be in Vegas, and it's going to be this August. So yeah, it's basically just been reported. I'm not gonna lie, we knew it was gonna happen because they both said they down to do it. They both said they got to do the rematch because it was too close. All I'm gonna say is, I'm hoping that boy Tank, because he been quiet lately. Lamont, you been yapping. Talking about you should have won. You keep dwelling on that little almost close win. That boy Gervonta, that Tank, he been... We ain't never seen Tank in this mode. I will say that Lamont, you're a very skilled fighter. But you should be nervous because we ain't never seen Tank like this. He's quiet. Like, he's literally hushed, bro. You just see him training. And now out of nowhere, he's like, hey, bro, we can set the fight up. That's actually dangerous. That's actually dangerous when you think about it. Like, dude ain't said a word. Even once the fight was over and pressed, he got the little hat on. He like, yeah, I mean, we could do the rematch. And he said it. I'm going to go in the gym and I'm going to train. I'm going to just be quiet and work. Good match to Lamont. I ain't going to lie. If I was Lamont, I'll be a little nervous. You ain't got to be scared, but I will be a little nervous because usually Tank, he the one that's like, yeah, don't bring your moms to the fight. Don't bring your peoples to the fight. Dude been real hush-hush lately. I'm not going to lie, y'all. They said the fight set up for August. I might have to go to this one in person. In August is my birthday month. I might have to go to this one in person, bruh. Because this right here, at this point, they're rivals now. This is like the perfect boxing story. They come from the same side of the the mat, come from the same gym and camp. I'm not gonna lie, they've been at it since they was kids. This like the perfect boxing story, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. We might have to be in there in person. But like I said, y'all already know how I go. When it come down to it, I'm putting my money on my boy Tank. Lamont, you definitely are skilled, and I'm going into this fight knowing that basically I know you're going to put up a good one, but I got my money on Tank. We ain't never seen Tank like this, bro. Dude quiet, and he ain't saying nothing. The fight just got booked. Oh, yeah.
Kenny Ellis hinted at big changes in Tank's camp. He won't share details, but says this rematch won't look like the first. His secrecy has built even more hype. Whatever's happening behind closed doors, they believe it'll show on fight night. The Davis vs. Roach rematch has the boxing world watching. With a new coach and intense training, Davis must prove himself. Everyone agrees. There's no room for mistakes now. As Roach talks confidently, Davis stays silent, fully locked in.
What do you see?
Both of the, like I said, they both top of the game. I see a competitive fight. Nice, clean, crispy shots like the first fight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't speak on what I seen, but the fight will be different.
Right, because you could strategize and do different things.
Yeah, it'll be different.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more. See you next time.